What do you call the incursion and the increased activity to retake Mosul? Is that not war?
Absolutely, it's war. And I get offended when people say, oh, it's kinetic action or some sort of meaningless name that's supposed to say it's not war. Yes, when our soldiers are involved, it's war, and we owe it to our soldiers. Look, I know many people who've been injured in the war. I've met with many of our veterans. They deserve more. They don't deserve to be put on the line, to have to sacrifice so much without Congress and everybody, Republicans and Democrats, coming to say it's time to go to war. And really, I think that the war over there, ultimately the victory will have to come from civilized Islam. You know, civilized Islam is going to have to stamp out radical Islam. If they see Americans coming, all it does is engender more hatred. I mean, the other day the Saudis in Yemen bombed a funeral procession. They killed 124 people in a funeral procession and wounded 500. Do you think that kills more terrorists than it creates? I'm guessing on the day the bombs dropped, thousands of terrorists were created. Every 10-year-old boy, every 12-year-old boy who had somebody killed in that is now an enemy of America.
What if we go into Mosul, though, and the objective is to wipe out ISIL?
I'm all for it. I'm all for wiping out ISIL, but I think the people who need to march in need to be people who live there. Turks need to be involved. Kurds need to be involved. Iraqi governments needs to be involved. And we can help. I'm actually for helping in a military way, but the soldiers, the boots on the ground, need to be Arab boots on the ground. They need to be Muslim boots on the ground. They shouldn't be Americans.
Regardless of who is elected president, when you return to Washington, will this be topic number one, or will it not even be addressed?
They've been ignoring it for years. You know, we've been at war in Libya, no vote to ever go to war. We've been at war in Syria, no vote. I forced the only vote that's ever been in Congress in the last 3 years. They had a water bill to send water aid to Africa, and sometimes you have to use procedural motions to get heard. And so I forced a vote on whether or not we should authorize war, the current war in Syria and Iraq, whether we should authorize that. And I forced that in the Foreign Relations Committee. That's been the only vote on this topic. And yes, these are important issues, but you have to, the majority of both parties don't want to touch it. They say, let it be the president's war, we're done. But that's not what our founding fathers wanted. Our founding fathers wanted that vote to be done by the people through their Congress.